Here is what's on the agenda. Please keep yourself on mute until we open up the floor for questions. So if you're not on mute now, just in case your phone rings or your cell phone starts spazzing out, just put yourself on mute. It will keep the line clearer. But you can see the agenda for today. So we're going to try to be done around 4. We may go slightly over. If you have to drop off because you got to get somewhere, this will be recorded. And if there's something critical you missed, we can get it to you. All right. So first of all, let me say, as your CEO here, thank you. It is May, and the last month of our fiscal year is June next month. Our new fiscal year starts July 1st, and this has been a solid, wonderfully solid year for us with lots of good progress. I know there's some shout outs. There's a whole lot of shout outs in this deck here, but I want to quickly shout out a couple departments because I know there's some individuals that'll be highlighted in a second. Let me first shout out HR and training because we have reduced our vacancy numbers from the range of the 160, 170 range down to just maybe under 100 there. That takes a lot of work because there still are some folks who cycle out. But to get from where we were to where we are now and be pretty much at pre-pandemic levels is great. Our goal is to get down to 60 in the next 9 months or so. So we need your help. We're going to keep talking about retention. We're going to keep doing things to respond to your input and feedback to improve benefits and pay as best we can. But you all, at the end of the day, help set the tone and create the right environment so people feel welcomed here and supported. So we need your help with that. But for now, thank you to HR for training for getting all those folks through. I have to say, since I can look outside my window, this is my only individual shout out. That would be to Francis, who is the office facilities manager here at 1401. We have a brand new parking lot with nice clean lines on it. Super bright. It seems so unusual because the old parking lot just was faded. So if you haven't been to the building recently, when you come, you'll have a pleasant surprise of seeing a nicely redone parking lot. And my last two would be for the day programs. Mayanne, Alvin, Regina, all the folks on the day team. Sheldon may repeat this. The day team has been kicking butt. CDS is back in business. There's more people in these programs than quite a while. So kudos to them for getting folks back and getting folks involved in meaningful activities during the day. And last but not least is a department that is trying to outrun every other department in the agency. You probably would never be able to guess which one it is. So I'm gonna have to tell you, it's transportation. Transportation is now our 4th largest program in the ARC Prince George's County, growing at double digits and expanding services, find ways to make sure people on Metro Access can use us as an alternative to get to their destination, especially folks with developmental disabilities. You will see over the next year that transportation's even going to expand faster than that because they will start providing transportation to the general public, and they will get folks to medical appointments and dialysis appointments, et cetera. So thanks to Doreen and the team for creating the right foundation. They're bringing on new software to continue to make sure our community has the support it needs to make sure people are as healthy as possible. So thank you, guys. Give them a round of applause for all that good work. You'll hear more as we go. We are not done because there are more shout outs. So Thalia, if you are there and you're unmuted, I'm going to skip that for a second. I want to pass it to you. Thalia unmuted.
I am.
There you go.
I'm trying to get my technology here together.
That's all right. You can see my screen, right?
I can. That's not the technology. Here we go. Here's how we do. Okay. Good afternoon. This is how we do it at the Arc of Prince George County. I want to take a few minutes to shout out to our ARC family members today who have recently been caught doing extraordinary deeds or just consistently going beyond the extra mile to make us look and or operate better. First up, join me in shouting out Quan Mathis. Quan is noted for great work day in and out. Quan is being awarded the ARC PGC DSP Award of the Year. This award is presented to the ARC employee in direct support who has made the greatest contribution to their chapter and the mission of the ARC through both personal and professional efforts. Thanks, Quan. Next up, Ashley Taylor. She is a tremendous example of how members of our staff go beyond their daily duties to extend themselves to help others in the community. Ashley actually volunteered her time with members of her church to feed the workers involved in the recovery effort at the Key Bridge in Baltimore during the tragedy. In addition, here at the ARC, she is always noted as the save the day dependable team member and can put together a great PowerPoint presentation in a blink of an eye. And I personally have witnessed that. So moving forward, let's talk a little bit about Tanya Johnson. Tanya is being shouted out for all that she does. Not only does she send out routine motivational quotes for all of us to appreciate, but she lives to motivate others and to be an example. Tanya is part of the Orientation Welcoming Committee. She is a great host and office colleague. And most importantly, if you have a question, just ask Tanya. All right. Next, we have Mulugeta Dino Maruta. Dino is knowledgeable, he's responsive, and he's a quiet contributor to our ARC team. Because he's so quiet, he doesn't always get enough recognition for the work he does in the IT department. His work is always timely and thorough. We all know that when Dino is asked, he shows up when we need him. So we thank you, Dino, for your contributions. Now, let's ease on down the road a little bit. Let's look. We have Karen Martin. Are you there, Karen? You might notice Karen's picture is incognito, but her work certainly isn't. Karen was responsible for our agency receiving a clean 403B audit. This is due to Karen's tight oversight, good record keeping, and being able to provide the auditors with every piece of data that they requested. Thanks, Karen. Okay, folks, the ARC of Prince George acknowledges, look at there, Shelley Wilson as Employee of the Year. We recognize and appreciate the vital role of her contributions to the organization, going above and beyond. Shelley Wilson has been spectacular in her role of assistant comptroller. She willingly takes on new responsibilities and is constantly looking for ways to improve the processes that she oversees. Shelley works very efficiently with peers as she walks the line on being helpful and cheerful, while at the same time being firm on enforcing the policies and procedures. I know that because I need to get my credit card statement in, or else. Okay, let's talk about a fan favorite. Let's talk about Kat. We are pleased to recognize Kat Lopez for her exceptional work within the Hispanic community, demonstrating dedication and commitment in building relationships at Langley Park Multicultural Center, assisting families and developing the new cultural broker program where she trains families to be parent-peer mentors. Her recent appointment to the County Executive Office Hispanic Advisory Committee and recognition as the ARC Maryland Leadership Recipient in May highlight her leadership and expertise. Kat's impactful contributions are commendable, and we are fortunate to have her at our agency. Please join me in congratulating Kat for being promoted to Bilingual Outreach Manager and thanking her for her continued dedication and contributions. You go, Kat. All right, up next, All right, let's talk about Always Ready Ryan. A few weeks ago, there were a number of people waiting for mandatory training. The trainer wasn't there. Rob reached out to Ryan, and after he couldn't reach the trainer, Ryan came all the way from home back to the office and taught the class. He showed
Amen. Amen.
he
Hey,
showed up and
let
he
everybody
showed
say
out.
amen.
And see, we got some amens on that. We already know he's always ready. And our leader expressed then how good it felt to see that. He stated the staff, I know, appreciate and valued that, just like we want them to. So Ryan, your commitment to help us in any way you can is evident. Thank you for going out of your way above and beyond. All right. So here we have it. Here's suddenly there was Sarah. We would like to extend a heartfelt appreciation to Sarah Fernandez for her exceptional contributions to our agency. Sarah's remarkable work this past few months in building our new outreach database system, assisting in the development of the Transitioning Age Youth Readiness Screening Program, better known as FIT, and supporting us with data collection, all while continuing to uphold the operations of the outreach department, has been truly invaluable. One of her colleagues said, "We don't know what we would have ever done without her. She has gathered data on everything around her. She is wonderful." Thanks, Sarah. Next, Brian and Larry. Well, transportation services and team, like Rob has mentioned, would like to thank Brian Freeman and Larry Sullivan for being supportive, flexible, and compliant with the ongoing changes and growth of the department. These two gentlemen are commended because they are the nucleus and the core of their team. It's not until you have had to manage your normal day-to-day activities and encountering towing vehicles, accidents, vehicle breakdowns, providing departmental support, interviewing people for hire, preparing to staff, and kick off 3 pilot projects all at the same time. Do you know that their work is never done? And such, they are combing through records and reports to determine which vehicles should stay in the fleet and which vehicles could go. Thanks, guys. That is a lot, and we appreciate it. But let me just say, transportation, that crew, they go hard. Not only did transportation want to highlight their supervisors, but they wanted to shout out their entire team. This is all done with an awesome skeletal crew that is also always willing to support. Thanks, transportation. Thanks for all of what you're doing. And you get 2 thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Finally, last but not least, last man, best man. Rob, our leader. Rob is being recognized for his commitment to excellence and advocacy, not just here at the Ark of Prince George County, but in the community at large. Please join me in recognizing Rob's contributions. That's for everybody. Folks, this concludes this month's shout outs. When you see these people around in the programs, out at the offices, please thank them for all they do. And I thank you all for today being here and being a part of this process. Thank you. That's it for me.
Fantastic. Wow, Thalia, you got to take a drink of water.
I do.
Yeah, that was something. Kudos and thanks to everyone highlighted here. You guys know, we're an organization. Every part is connected and every part matters. And we're highlighting some folks today. We truly do celebrate them. And we recognize that all of you on here make this organization move forward. So we look forward to continuing to do this and celebrate you guys for extraordinary work. So thank you so much. I think the next thing on our agenda is from Meijin to talk about the process for contacting training and using the ticketing system in ICM. So Meijin, hopefully I'm correct. If you could just step right in and take over from there.
Thanks, Rob. Good afternoon, everyone. So last month or so, we implemented a new way of communicating and providing, basically communicating with the training department. And that includes first sending an email to the training department if you have any questions, and receiving and viewing the training FAQ that comes automatically once a training is, an email is sent. So we ask that when you send out an email to the training department at thearcofpgc.org, you review the FAQ that is automatically sent back. And that'll basically give you pretty much any and most of the questions that you ever asked. They're pretty much on there, on that list. Ryan, do I have access to share my screen real quick? Okay. So let me see. This is the FAQ and what it looks like. So you can click on any of the questions that you have. How do I register for let's say the safety, how do I register for the MANT class? So you would click on this training right here where it says, let's say, what if you need to cancel a registration, right? What do I do? So you click on need to cancel the registration and it'll bring you right down to the question and it'll say, send an email to the training department and within 24 hours of the scheduled training requesting to cancel the registration. If you completed a training of any sorts and you want to know, hey, how come it hasn't been updated and what's going on, you can go ahead and follow the steps. Or if you have a training payment that needs to be, that you're looking for and you haven't received, and you don't see your training hours in Paylocity, these are the 3 common answers. If in reviewing your FAQ, the FAQ, you realize that none of these questions that you have are here on the FAQ, then we ask for you to send or submit a ticket in iCare. It's the same process that you would submit any type of maintenance ticket. So let me show you that. Does this look familiar, you guys? The training maintenance request? This is what you would find in iCare. You would click on the maintenance request and you would basically add a request over here at the top right-hand corner. And you will then describe what's going on, what the issue is, put the area, right? What's going on? Hey, I'm missing my hours. And the request type will always go to the training department because it's a training question. So you'll scroll all the way down and request for the training department. You would then select the date that you needed it, which would be the same day that you're submitting it, and where you're requesting it to, you could put, which this is not necessary, you could leave it blank actually. And then right here, all we ask is for you to describe what's going on. Hey, I completed my trainings and I did submit my my work log to the training department and I still don't see my training hours on the Paylocity. I didn't complete this training while I was on shift, so I should be able to receive payment for it. And then once we receive it, we have 48 hours to reply to you to either let you know, hey, this was fixed, or we did not receive your work log, or in review of when your hours were completed, we noticed that it was done on shift, and therefore you're not able to get paid for it. So we ask that you follow these 2 steps. Again, in order for this to work, there's basically 2 steps. The first step is you sending an email to the training department, reviewing the FAQ that comes with that, making sure that none of the questions that you have is on that FAQ, and then submitting a ticket to the training department through the maintenance request in iCare. So that is the only 2 ways that we ask for you to basically get in contact with us. And again, you have 48 hours. We have a 48-hour window. for you guys to receive a response. And that 48 hours is business hours. So I know community living is 24 hours, but we are not. So on Saturday and Sunday, if you send in an email or a request, the 48 hours will start on Monday. So if you have any questions, you guys could ask. We're here to, help you guys and provide you with any information. But we also strongly ask that you review that FAQ and then submit a ticket through iCare. And that's basically what I have. Yes.
Thank you for that update. Going to see if there's 1 or 2 questions really quickly, but to start, the FAQ document itself, did you describe where that's located?
So the FAQ is automatically submitted once sent to the staff once they send an email to the training department. It's
Oh,
an
it's an
automatic
auto reply.
reply. It's an auto
got it.
reply with an attachment. And so on that FAQ, it's very like you can click on this on the question that you have, and it'll bring you directly to the answer that you're looking for. So anytime you send an email, if we know that the email that the question that you ask in your email, the answer is on the FAQ, we will ask you to view the FAQ because we want you guys to get used to it. So that way you always have access to it. Anytime that you send it, it's an automatic reply.
Is it also available to just search in SharePoint?
I believe so. It is. We did add it in there, but we can make sure that it's there.
Okay. Ryan, if you
week.
could test that while we're on here and just let us know. Because I suppose if I didn't have it and I had a question, I could email the training department at training@thearcofpgc.org, and I'd
training department so it's training department at thearcofpgc.org.
That's helpful. Thank you. All right.
Anytime.
Any other questions for Mejean?
Mejean, I have a question. So we're with our supervisors, are we submitting these on behalf of our employees or staff, or we're submitting the tickets?
Are you submitting what?
Submitting the tickets on behalf of our employees.
Oh no, your staff have access to be able to submit tickets on their by themselves, pretty much.
Oh, really?
The same way that any staff can put in if they have any issues, any maintenance requests. The ticket it works just like any maintenance request, so anybody can do it.
Okay, but on our end, we'll be able to see they submitted it. I mean, on our end.
Ryan says yes, so that's yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Keisha, I would like to just say, if you have new staff and they might be struggling trying to get through the process, if you could walk them through, if they have questions about it, that would be good too.
Okay.
And new staff are taught during orientation as well. So the same way they're taught for incident reporting and things like that, we show them as well in iCare how to, submit a maintenance request.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for that question, Keisha. We'll take one more if there's one more.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
This is Chidima. Please, for the training log, where do we get that after each training so that we'll fill it and submit? Where do we get that? Thank you.
I have submitted them. If somebody was asking for them, we've sent them out. I can add it as an attachment to the FAQ so that way you can click it and open it up. But if you send an email to us and you're like, hey, I can't find it, we've responded with the work log.
All right. Thank you.
Anytime.
Perfect. All right. We'll have
I
more
just want to
time
also reiterate real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You guys, I need for everyone to be on the same page when it comes to how and when you get paid. If you are on the clock, when you are completing a training, you cannot get paid additional hours. So if you completed your MET and that's 6.5 hours now, while you were on the clock, you cannot get paid an additional 6.5 hours. So anything that is done on the clock, you will not get paid additional hours. We have received several work logs of people submitting hours to get paid. And when we go into Paylocity, we see that they were already on the clock while they were doing the training. So
thanks for that.
Can't get paid additional hours.
Very good clarification. Good.
So just really quickly, Rob, anyone who can complete 6 hours of training on the job is not performing their job adequately.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not do not complete 6 hours of training while on the job. Your attention should be focused on our individuals.
And remember, if you're submitting that, we can see that. So just keep that in mind, you guys.
All right, next up is Mayanne. I hope she's on. I think she is going to talk about
Real quick though, just for everybody's reference, I put it on the main SharePoint site at the bottom. I just want to show real quick just so everybody knows. Screen. So on your main SharePoint site, right at the bottom, everybody on the main SharePoint site, you have the training FAQ, which you can now access on the SharePoint sites like that.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
Ryan.
Look at that.
That's why you got shouted out.
Got an icon. How about that? All right. So, guys, I mentioned earlier, and you guys know that we want to do as best a job of retaining staff, but not just retaining staff, making sure everyone here feels valued. And so the past couple of years, we've made some adjustments, right? We turned back on the retirement plan match. We've offered additional tuition and reimbursement. In fact, we increased that amount last year and added more support for part-time staff in response to your feedback on the employee satisfaction survey, by the way. And all of you help to, no matter if you're administration or frontline DSP, you help the lives of people we support be better. You make a way for them to be connected, supported, appreciated, cared for, and to pursue their dreams and interests. And so that means a lot. So we want to also show that we love and care for our staff. And one small way we identified that was to set up a new hardship and bereavement policy, and I believe Mayanne is going to share the basics on that now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your week in this lovely weather. So as Rob said, we want to further show our DSPs how much they're appreciated and valued and thank them for everything that they do. So a benevolence program has been set up, and basically it's a hardship when a hardship occurs. So the purpose of this policy is to set forth the conditions for which the ARC may authorize annual or PTO leave to be cashed in for purposes classified as benevolent. Benevolence disbursements will only be approved to provide for the necessities of life to the employee in need. Types of disbursements may include shelter, medical care, financial support, and other types of assistance. Aisha sent this out a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to go over it word by word, just a few highlights. So there is a criteria for it. It's only for DSPs, and you must have accrued leave available, and it has to be a recognized hardship that is listed below. And the request must be made within 30 days of the event or notice. The hardships: spouse loss of employment, death in your immediate family, and the immediate family is outlined, costly medical condition or medical bills exceeding $500 for one bill or prescription. We do know that nowadays prescriptions can be extremely high for certain ailments. So we want to make sure that you all are staying as healthy as possible and have access to your much needed medication. Utility bills, severe hardships resulting from natural disasters, and eviction and foreclosure notices. There are things that it is not going to be approved for: investments, financial profit, anything that's going to bring financial profit, paying off credit cards, legal fees, penalties for resulting in late payments, those type of things. The process is you must make a request for assistance. It should be emailed to the benevolence at the Arc of Prince George's County.org. It should include your name and or relationship of family member, if applicable, criteria for which benevolence might apply to said individual, explanation and documentation to support the request. All requests will be reviewed and voted on by the committee, and we have 48 hours to notify you whether or not your request will be approved. The chair of the committee will alert the payroll department of the approval by submitting a change form and track all requests. So again, just go back to your email. I think she sent it out April 15th. No, March 15th, possibly. And just really read over it. I feel it's an excellent program. And again, it's only for DSPs. I know anyone can go through a hardship. However, we really just want to ensure that we support our DSPs who are taking care and supporting our individuals the way they do. Any questions?
That was an outstanding walkthrough, Mayanne. Thank you so much. Any questions? I do see a question in the chat about tuition reimbursement. Hold that for just 1 second, because tuition reimbursement is going to be something we talk about in a moment. I see a question about knee replacement surgery. Yes, first of all, keep me in your prayers. What's the rest of that question? Oh, okay. So, Michael, we will be praying for you. Thank you for letting us know that. You're going to be perfectly fine. All right. HR updates are next on my deck. I will check to see if someone from HR is going to step in and present that, or if I will, because I know Aisha is out. I just don't have a note for who else was going to talk about it. And it could be that this material was meant for a prior meeting, but it's cool because we got a question about it already. So if no one hops in, I'll hit highlights here. So in HR updates, so yeah, some of these are probably dated, but someone has a question on tuition and reimbursement. So why don't we go straight to that? The offer for full-time staff is $500. I believe that is for the year, $250 for part-time staff. Karen or someone in HR, let me know if those numbers have been adjusted or if that's correct. And the person who had the question, what was your question on tuition reimbursement?
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Timmy. I work at Pitch Walker. I put in a request for tuition reimbursement in January, and I got a reply that the course that I need a reimbursement for is not related to my job.
Yes.
Okay. And
your question is?
I need to know because it's a nursing course, so I don't know why it's not reimbursed.
Yeah, and I think I might even remember the specific one. So the way the tuition reimbursement program works is the course has to be related to your specific job as you're working it today and what's in your job description. And so some things are pretty close, given some of the work we do, and some are, it just doesn't make that cut. So I think we've already responded to this one, if I'm not mistaken. But if there's any other questions on your specific scenario, if you have not heard from HR already, because HR will give you the final determination on whether a course qualifies or not. And for some of you who might be taking courses or considering courses, if you want to check with HR before you take that course, just in case, especially if it's optional or what do you call those, elective, check first to see if it's covered so there's no surprises once you complete or pay for the course. All right. I believe June 30th is a true date, so you've got to use your PTO, or there's a certain amount of PTO that can be carried over. But once you pass that limit, we used to, in the COVID season, allow people to carry over extra vacation time. That season is done. So approval for those sorts of things or adjustments to that cutoff date are going to be very unlikely. So please schedule time to use your vacation, and/or I believe some of you have the opportunity to cash out vacation that you absolutely know you're not going to need, and to use those funds for whatever you would like to. So please note that. And I think this announcement of the, oh, what does that look like last year? I'm gonna get off that slide because that might be old. All right. Any HR related questions? And Karen, are you actually on here, Karen Martin?
I have a question.
Yes, who is that?
It's Chidima. On the no, you said, did you say there's no more carryover?
Oh,
the
there is a certain, is Karen, by the way, is Karen on here? Because I don't know some of these specific HR items. There is a maximum number of vacation hours that can be carried over into the new fiscal year. It is in the employee handbook, I'm sure. So if Ryan pulls that handbook up, he might give us an answer soon or put it in the chat. But the point I was making was that during COVID, because it was so hard for people to use vacation time, and all those sorts of things, we extended the cutoff date from June 30th, I think, till September 30th, at least 2 years in a row. We are no longer doing that. So that June 30th date for cutoff for that vacation time in excess of what you can carry out will be lost vacation time. So you want to make sure you use it or cash out what you can before that date. And I think Aisha sent out an email on cashing out vacation in the last week or two, with instructions on how to do that. Does anyone have questions on that process? Okay, all right. Natasha, if you could take a really brief moment to help us catch up on time and just share updates on COVID protocol, you are on the agenda to do that. So I will stop sharing and pass it to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just really quickly, effective today, we are lifting the mask requirements for most of the agency. Effective today, we will be going mask optional for most of the agency, with the exceptions of the Bridges program, the Springbrook location, the Peach Walker location, the Fernwood location, and the Riverview location. You will receive an email shortly after, excuse me, this meeting outlining the locations that must continue to wear masks. If you do not work at those locations, mask wearing is optional.
You missed one, Teal House.
Thank you, Erica. And Teal House is also requires you to continue to wear masks. Did I miss any other, Erica?
No, ma'am.
And Natasha, what about temperature checks? Do homes still have to do those, or is that being discontinued?
Rob, for the most part, most people aren't doing them. We can discontinue those.
That sounds good. All right.
We can, I've been to the homes. We can.
They're still doing it at
those.
Teal.
The only, everyone, of course, will keep their thermometer, in the case that someone is not feeling well. But other than that,
Okay.
yes. Erica, you keep running your show the way you run it. I love it.
Miss Natasha,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Question. So when they come out in the community, they come home, you're saying they no longer have to be doing, temperatures?
That is exactly what we're saying.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Natasha, this is Jimmy. A question, when our staff pick our clients up from residents, so do they still got to do temperature check?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and list that in the email so that we're all clear.
Okay, because they've been doing that a lot.
Oh, well, thank you for the ones who continue.
That's right.
To follow the policy.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
And I have to report that every group home I've been to in the last 3 months has taken my temperature. So they were diligent, still doing what they needed to do, and made me put on a mask too. So folks, thank you for being safe. I feel like we're at a point with our safety team, Natasha, Brenda, and others, that we can discontinue some of these things. So please look out for the email, and still be careful, watch out for people as their baselines change. You might want to say if someone actually gets sick or has a bug in the house, everybody put on a mask for a week or something. But
Well, if that happens, it's notification through nursing, and nursing will automatically require that.
the nurse will, okay, good. All
Yeah.
right.
One
Any
more
other
thing.
questions on?
One more
Yes.
thing. So we want to remind everyone, as the weather is changing and it's getting hot outside, to make sure that you're applying sunscreen and having individuals wear hats as applicable.
And you're not leaving people in the car by themselves.
Please don't do that.
Yes.
Please,
You're not
please do
leaving. It's
not
too
leave
hot.
people in the car unattended at
That's
all.
right.
Miss Brenda, she may be gone. She had a training, but that's the only updates we had, Rob.
Okay. Just a bonus question here, Natasha, if you could, in 5 to 10 seconds or less. Are there any incidences that you're seeing occur, maybe not necessarily a trend, but any tips, whether it's summer, warm weather related or not, that you want to just kind of everybody keep on their minds?
What we would like everyone to remember to do is write detailed and descriptive incident reports. To give an example, if you write an incident report and it's only one sentence, you haven't given us enough information. So, be sure to be very detailed and descriptive.
Very good. All right.
Natasha, excuse me, Rob, I got
Yes, sir.
Natasha, one more question. Right now, the allergy season, and people come in with they sneezing and they know their eyes running and stuff like that. And most time that's the same as COVID when we noticed that. So, cause I know one of our staff noticed that today with one of our participants that she was sneezing and coughing because of the I'm not no doctor, but it's allergy season because I know I go through the same symptoms. So
Well, Jimmy, the protocol for that hasn't changed. You would still
Okay.
notify the nurse, and the nurse would make a decision as to how you would move forward.
okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very good. All right. So I just want to quickly note, in the next week, guys, you will get a very short version of our employee satisfaction survey. We're doing those about 3 times a year now, just to keep a good pulse on how folks are feeling. We want to hear from you. It's a great tool to share your ideas about what makes this a good place to work and what could be better. As you can hear, we're always making adjustments, changes to benefits, policies, etc. 75% of the time is based on your feedback. So if 6, 7 of you are all saying the same thing, we're going to pay attention to it. If one person says it, unless it's a violation or something, it may not hit the radar, but we want to hear from you. So make sure when you get that survey, fill it out. It'll be pretty short. You probably can do it in less than 3-4 minutes because we shortened it about a year and a half ago. So please remember to share your feedback. All right. Sheldon, did you prepare to share some good news with this amazing group?
Absolutely, Rob.
Yes.
Do you want to do your PowerPoint, or I can share either way?
Well, I have it right here, so let me turn my screen on.
Very good. So I want to just start by saying I'm going to try to keep this at a high level. I doubt that I can match Thalia's enthusiasm, but I'll try. So the first thing, we start right at the beginning. Our residential is exceeding budget. If you can click one time for me there, Rob. The first line is residential. Click again. And you'll see that we've exceeded budget by $400,000. We're well ahead of last year. Somebody asked me a little while ago, why would we vary from budget? So there's some things that we know going into the budget year. We know how many homes we have. We know what the reimbursement rate is from DDA. We know how many bedrooms are in each house. So Why is there any variance? Because of the things we don't know. We don't know about when vacancies will occur. When people come into our service, we don't know the acuity level. Is it going to be 1-to-1, or is it going to be a lower level of assistance necessary? All those affect our actual revenue, and we don't know that going in. So, but residential doing well. If you could click for me, Rob. And so I want to talk about the Meaningful Day program a little bit. This is where this program has really done very well this year. And a few reasons why. When I budgeted, we knew about the DDA rate increases, and that's baked into our budget. But what isn't baked into the budget is our attendance went really significantly better in 24 than it was in 23. It's up 82% to 65 last year. And we're seeing the hours, the billable hours, which last year were around 6 hours. Now they're approaching 8 hours. So we're getting much better billing, and we're bringing in inactive participants. And this particular program has kind of gone crazy. It's not highlighted, but Rob mentioned transportation, and you could see that. And a lot of that, relates to the same kind of things as a Meaningful Day, just more attendance within the transportation. And I think we're sort of coming out of COVID to a degree, and all these particular programs are doing really well. And one last click, Rob, and the click again is the bottom line here is net income from operations. The second column is 2.7, which just is about where we were last year, and it's been a really, really successful year, much better than I thought we would be, particularly because of Meaningful Days. You can see above, Meaningful Days doing very well. Usually I'll talk about expenses. Not going to talk about expenses now. They're over budget by $2 million, but a lot of that is because those revenue items, particularly Meaningful Day, there are more DSPs required to bring in that money, so our expenses are higher. But overall, we're doing much better than budgeted, and I want to thank you guys, and we need to keep up the great work.
Outstanding job, everybody. The ARC is growing and strong, and we're all rowing in the same direction. So thank you so much. All right, and we've got some special events and announcements coming up, and Denise Stokes has been on here since 2 o'clock, so I know she's ready to share. So Denise, you're up.
Thank you, Rob. Hello to everybody. Nice to see you all. And I just want to say, way to show up on time. It was like 125 people that were already waiting to get started at like 3:05. So that was great. The events that you see on your screen we'll start with the bottom left, and Thalia already did a great job of shouting out our DSP of the year, who's Quan Mathis, and Shelly Wilson, who is our Employee of the Year. And the lady on the right-hand side is one that many of you don't have a chance to see, but the work that she does for the ARC as part of being a member of our board has been extremely significant. And I know that Rob can talk more about some of the great things that Kimberly Brown has done for us.
Is that or did you throw it to me?
Yes, I'm throwing that to you.
Okay, wow. I'm on location here at the ARC Prince George's County at 1401 McCormick Drive. And I just want to share that even though you put Rob up as the boss on a screen earlier, there's a boss higher than I am, and that is our board of directors. These people are responsible for overseeing the work we do, to making sure we're on mission, to making sure that our values are lived out through the work we do, and to make sure fiscally we are sound. And so there is a committee on that board known as the Governance Committee. Kimberly was selected about a year and a half ago now to run the brand new Governance Committee, which has framed specific outcomes like completing the evaluation for the CEO. Rob Malone will get an evaluation this year. I have never had a performance evaluation in 8 years, but I will this year. So that is good stuff because that's oversight. They also are now more responsible for recruiting board members. Instead of Rob Malone recruiting lots of board members, the board members now participate in that. And lastly, but not least, I'll say something that is absolutely outstanding. Most boards do not do this. Our board completes a board self-assessment every year. It grades itself on performance. It meets during a strategic retreat for the board and decides where they need to do better. And they set goals for the board itself. None of that would be possible or in place if it wasn't for this person named Kimberly Brown on your screen. So along with our amazing staff, she will be honored for her volunteer leadership. Thank you, Denise. Wait, passing it back to you on site, Denise, and you're muted.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Malone. And yes, I am Denise Stokes. I'm actually happy to be at home, coming to you guys from Baltimore County, as a matter of fact. So on the right-hand side, this brings me so much joy. Arc du Soleil. That is our annual meeting and employee celebration event. And if you were there last year, it was a super fantastic time. We are planning the same for this year and hopefully even better. So what I ask you guys, or let me tell you first, supervisors of our honorees, you guys get to attend for free. And if you're not quite sure who the honorees are, you can send me an email and I can find out, or let you know if it's somebody that you supervise. If you're a supervisor, you can attend the event for free. So please, if you know that you're a supervisor of someone that is an honoree, I need to hear from you like today. The event is happening in 1 week and 1 day. So we are pretty much down to the wire. And we've got, I think we're up to about 100 people that have registered. And so if you are an honoree, you get to come for free and you get to bring someone with you for free. If you're not sure if you're an honoree or think maybe you missed out or anything like that, please feel free to send me an email. And then there is a link where you can go and register if you are paying to attend. Non-honoree ARC employees, it costs $45 to attend. So we just have to I have to get numbers to the hotel where the event is happening as to how many people are attending, and we're going to drop dead, cut it off as of Monday, May 6th. So please ask me any questions that you need. I'm very responsive via email. You can text me, call me. Next on the list, did I see Jimmy Lester was on this call?
I heard his voice. That is correct.
Yes, I'm on the call.
Okay, sir, I've sent you and your wife an email because we'd like to interview you and your wife at the AMEC event because his wife Jennifer is also going to be one of our honorees this year. But guys, what you don't know about Jimmy and Jennifer, many of you may not know, is that they have a love story to tell. So I love love stories and we need to share that. So Jimmy, be prepared. And something that Medellin said earlier about us being on the same page, that can translate into so many different departments and so many different things. And what I want to bring to the attention of directors and senior leaders on this call is the fact that I'm going to institute sort of like a policy. Whereas if you are doing any type of external communications, that is, I don't care if it's you're creating a PowerPoint, if you're ordering T-shirts or pens or pencils, anything like that, that I need to be able to see what it is you're doing in advance, please. And only because we just had I mean, even yesterday we had an issue where we were working with Prince George's County, and they spelled the ARC, A-R-C, in all capital letters. We can't do that. And it happened earlier this year with another outside project that somebody was working on, but I had no idea. And when they sent me pictures and I saw the ARC spelled A-R-C, I am, as director of marketing and communications, guys, like the brand police. And so I just want to make sure that collectively, everything that people see about us in the public, that it is uniform in every way, shape, and form. So I'll be sending something out to directors and senior leaders. And if you're not on the director and senior leader team, and you are maybe going to be ordering something, you want to order something, like I said, t-shirts, sweatshirts, anything like that, please make sure that I get an email and I am at least aware, because I want to make sure we're using the right logo, colors, and the whole nine.
We got it, Denise. That's
thank you,
right.
Rob.
That's right on point. Yeah, absolutely right. And sometimes you create, when you write your own papers and read it to proof it, you miss something. And I had an experience the other day. I saw a flyer we put out in the community. It said, click here to register. But we were handing it out in paper. So there was no way anyone could click anything or know the URL because the URL wasn't on it. So those things sometimes we can miss. So let's use Denise as a resource. I know she said police. Sometimes, policing can be a very helpful thing. So let her help you out.
Thank you, Rob.
So I'm going to allow about, okay, we're going to go to 4:10 and I'm going to shut it off, but I'm going to open the floor for any questions you have. I think this has been a very productive and meaty call, but you might have questions. I do recall someone said something in the chat. You guys can tell me and help me out, Thalia, if it was been answered already. But someone asked about how do we make sure these vehicles on the road stay clean and we don't embarrass the ARC? So I know we've talked about documenting that process for residential as well as transportation. I think transportation has a process. I think Day has a process in employment. So maybe the question was from residential.
Perhaps that's the case. And I think we're going to give Missy a few days, a couple of weeks, for her to kind of determine how they're going to handle that in residential.
And Missy, don't feel like you and your team have to do it on your own. Please talk to Mayan and Doreen because you might want to just bite what they're doing. Use the same vendor, have someone come to the house, whatever is inexpensive and reasonable. Please make sure it happens. We don't want our vehicles to look dirty and nasty driving on the road. Great question. Any other questions? And if someone like Ryan or Sheila help me out, look in the chat and just see if you see any questions just hovering out there we have not addressed. Question on gloves was answered already. Okay, any other items?
All answered pretty much.
Man, you guys are outstanding. Outstanding. Oh, last thing. Let's close it off like this. June. Okay, so a lot of you are going to make it next week. We're going to have a good time, by the way, guys. If you can really make the 9th, I'm hearing it's going to be fun. You see the theme, so you know there's something connected to the theme that's going to happen during the event. If for some reason you just can't make that because you got to work somewhere or do something or travel for someone's graduation because we're in May, I get it. Please mark your calendars for June the 7th, I think is a Friday. Why are you shaking your head, Sharon? Is that the wrong date? It's June 7th. Why you shake your head? Okay, I don't know. Maybe she's not talking to me. All right, so June 7th.
It's June 9th.
No,
right,
no,
it's June 9th.
No. Back up. You on the wrong.
It's the day after my birthday.
You on a different calendar. I don't know what you're talking about. So
I'm for next week. Next week is
May 9th. Okay, Sharon's drinking some juice in her office. All right. Stop drinking that juice, Sharon. So May 9th is the event next week, but I was saying some of you may not make that because of conflict, but also put on your calendar, our next ARC party is June 7th. That is Friday. That's when we have the food in our brand new paved parking lot. We're gonna have extra space because it was a little tight last time. So we're gonna have an extra tent with more tables for some shade. You come and enjoy the time. It's really a party just for staff. But if you are on duty and you don't have a choice but to bring people you support, you come with the people you support. The request for that is you're gonna get a link probably after May 9th, because we don't want to confuse folks, where you're going to get a link after May 9th to register, pick a time slot you're going to come, make sure whoever you're bringing with you, you put a count of that group in the reservation so we know how many people are going to actually come through, staff and people we support. Any
Rob.
questions on that? Denise?
That's my birthday.
Rob.
Oh,
June
wait,
7th.
hold on, Denise. Who said that's their birthday?
Tanya Johnson.
Tanya Johnson. All right, so Tanya's going to start the limbo line. How about that?
I just want to also tell everybody that the day after June 7th, June 8th is Melanie's Ready to Be Healthy family, youth, fitness, fun, and health fair that's going to be happening on the parking lot and the grounds of 1401. And that's what I think. Oh, yeah. So you got to register for the staff thing on the 7th, and then you got to register for Melanie's event as well. And I can make sure that you guys all get a link to register.
All right, Lorraine has a hand up. Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, thank you, Denise. Great report. I just want to emphasize the importance of being on time next week. I know some of you have to finish your shifts or may want to change clothes, but next week we have an exciting evening for you. And it's important that you be there on time. The event starts at 5 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. We want you there at 5 o'clock. We have some exciting entertainment for you, and we're trying to pack a lot into the evening. So please don't miss it. And we have wonderful raffle prizes, including a TV. So make sure you're there on time.
You heard it here. There's only 2 minutes left for questions. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Great call, guys. We will see you again in June. We will identify what we need to chat about then. If you have any recommendations or requests for things you want to know more about or hear more about, or you have ideas on how we can grow and better serve the people that are in our programs, you can throw it in chat now and I will save it, or someone will, or email me or Thalia or Missy so we can include that in the agenda. You all have been fantastic. To all of our presenters today, and especially to the honorees, the people that Thalia shouted out, and the departments and programs. Great job across the board. Thank you for an outstanding year, and we'll see you later.